Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/newmusicindustry. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
You're listening to the New Music Industry with David Andrew Weem.
Today I'm going to interrupt the regularly scheduled program to share a little bit about my forthcoming webinar with you. It will be taking place on Wednesday, May 15th. Before I get to that though, I just want to acknowledge that lately there have been times when I've published the podcast late and some weeks I didn't publish at all. This is not because I have a shortage of content to share with you. It's quite the opposite. I recently recorded some incredible interviews with some of my music marketing heroes, and honestly, I can't wait to share those with you. Still have content from the first ever headquarters show, as well as from Your Music Matters Live to share with you too. If I've been late or missed a week, it's because of everything I've been up to. But gradually, I've been freeing up my time with the help of freelancers, and I'm also getting into a productive routine. So I just wanted to let you know what was going on because I didn't want to leave you hanging. Honestly, I hate missing a week, but you've all been patient with me, so thank you. Now on to the free webinar, which is stemming from my community project. If you listened to an earlier episode about Your Music Matters, then you already know what the project is about. At its core, it's about equipping and empowering musicians with marketing knowledge to help them make a living from their passion. I started this project in January, and I'm looking to fulfill powerfully on the intentions of the project and the commitment I made to it by May 16th. This doesn't mean that I won't continue working on Your Music Matters afterwards, but I started this project as part of a seminar I've been taking, and that seminar is coming to an end next week. What's so interesting about a project like this is that as you get into conversation about it, you see it shift and morph before your eyes, which is exactly what happened. Thanks to everyone who is willing to get into conversation about it, even if it was just to answer a few quick questions. There are many who helped along the way, and I can't get to everyone right now, but for now I'd like to thank Brent Vartstra, Christopher Sutton, Ariel Hyatt, James Moore, and Keith A. Link. Anyway, I had some important realizations along the way as a result of the conversations I was getting into. The original scope of the project was considerable. Over time, I came to see and understand that I could cut down significantly on time commitments by looking at the project differently. Originally, I wanted to book an event at a community center or something along those lines. I realized I could simplify quite a bit by doing something online instead. After all, I was doing weekly Facebook Lives for Your Music Matters, so to me it made sense to complete this phase of the project by going live with a webinar. At the outset, I also wanted to develop a marketing curriculum from scratch. I quickly realized that was unnecessary because there is already a lot of great content out there. I started thinking about talking to various course developers and licensing their content instead. Well, that's what I hope to do in the future at least. I didn't get that far into the project because I haven't found a leader to take that on. For the webinar, I'll be the one putting together the content and presenting it. So when I finally decided that a webinar is how I was going to fulfill on the intentions and outcomes of the project, I instantly knew what would come next, namely building an audience for the webinar. And of course, that's one of the reasons I'm sharing about the webinar with you right now. The webinar is called Digital Marketing Essentials for Musicians, and I'm sure you can get a sense of what it's about just from hearing the title. But I thought it would be worthwhile to talk a little bit about what you can expect to learn if you register. In a broader sense, I'll basically be talking about music distribution, how to get your music onto streaming platforms and online stores so you have visibility everywhere. Target audience, how to get a better sense of who your target audience is so you can powerfully attract a larger following. Website, how to get your website to do your heavy lifting for you while you're busy creating. Social media, how to generate meaningful results with social media. Email marketing, how to create a solid long-term strategy for your music career. This will be my first time doing a webinar like this, but rest assured, it's not my first presentation. I just spoke at WordCamp YYC today, and I love public speaking. Anyway, I have a lot of gold nuggets to share with you, And regardless of what level you're at, there will likely be a takeaway or two you can implement. Certainly, it's most suited to beginners who don't know where to start or how to get going, or even those who haven't set up an online presence yet. But there will be a few advanced tips sprinkled throughout for others who are looking to up their game. So here's my call to action. Register for the webinar immediately. Doesn't matter if you can't be there. The moment you commit to change, you set it in motion. This is something I shared in episode 137 of the podcast as I was heading out to Vancouver to deliver on a promise I had made to my friend. So go to musicentrepreneursq.com/webinar and set yourself up powerfully for your future. Thank you for listening. Music in this episode was brought to you by Brian Young. Wherever you're listening to this right now, please consider leaving a 5-star review and comment to help us get the word out about the podcast.